It is election day here in Fulton County, and the shenanigans just continue with the whole Fani Willis debacle. And of course, you know her challengers have something to say. Fani Willis has a competitor, a pretty strong one from the Democratic Party. He had a scathing thing to say about her yesterday. He's calling for her resignation. Crazy. Listen up.
On May 15th, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis received a letter from the United States Senate highlighting her misuse of $500,000 for a youth empowerment and gang prevention center and $2 million for the sexual assault kit initiative. Instead, she spent those funds on traveling, airfare, hotels, rental cars, and conference expenses, leaving women alone and depriving our youth.
I'm sorry, I'm watching this raw dog. I cannot believe that is what happened. I want to look at the letter.
The resources that could help dismantle the school-to-prison pipeline. There have been several disturbing lawsuits filed against Fani Willis, including that of the ACLU for violating constitutional rights of people, leaving them incarcerated for too long without formal charges.
5 years.
This continues to serve as an issue in our already overcrowded jail, where several people have died because of the conditions there.
Bed bugs.
This district attorney continuously raises red flags about misusing money intended to help protect us here in Fulton County for her own personal travel. In fact, she spent over $18,000 of her campaign funds on travel expenses, leaving me to debate an empty podium.
Eric isn't kidding. What he's referring to is a particular incident where Fani was supposed to be debating him. This is about 2 to 3 weeks ago at the end of April. And unfortunately, instead of actually debating her challenger, Fani Willis was at an event in Miami. This man actually had no choice but to debate. He was talking to an empty podium. His challenger did not show up.
Instead of showing up to answer the tough questions of the people of Fulton County. The role of the district attorney is to protect the community in which it serves, not to steal resources intended to help rape victims.
Oh, he said steal.
And our youth. We need to get the office back on track, protecting the families of Fulton County and ensuring that victims get the justice they deserve. We need to show up for our youth, not deprive them of the resources that can help change their lives for the better. In light of potential prosecution and disbarment, I respectfully ask Fani Willis to resign.
Eric is not kidding. And you know what? Kudos to him. Number one, it's not easy when you're running against someone, but at the same time, like here in Fulton County and over these past few months, we've seen multiple examples of misuse of funds. Nathan Wade did his first interview since he had come out with what has been going on here. In Nathan Wade's first interview since all of this has happened, he said that affairs are American as apple pie. I kid you not, that's actually what he said in this interview. It's insane. The corruption needs to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is if we have real change. Just out of curiosity, I do want to bring us back to that Senate letter. The letter reads, from the United States Senate in Washington, D.C., Miss Fani Willis, the Department of Justice of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention within the Office of the Justice Programs awards federal grants to state and local communities to administer a variety of juvenile justice and child protection programs. The Fulton County's District Attorney's Office has received millions of dollars for law enforcement related programs through OJP. According to recent reports, the Fulton County DA may have misused funds from these grants to fund unrelated travel or the purchase of computers and swag. We write today to request information connected to the grant and other federal grants in Fulton County. In the fiscal year of 2020, you were awarded nearly $500,000 to establish the Fulton County Center of Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention Center. The stated purpose of the center was to provide professional development, academic mentorship, and community network of at-risk youth from becoming involved or continuing in gang activity. According to reports, the center has yet to open the building. It is closed to the public and it gets padlocked. Reports have raised allegations that portions of this and other federal grants funded by taxpayer dollars provided to Fulton County were subject to misuse. The Justice Department reportedly stated that it found inconsistencies in what Fulton County has reported, and we are working with them to update their reporting. Specifically, the inconsistencies relate to about $89,000 from your office to the Offender Alumni Association. This is a direct transaction, guys. Fulton County records show the money was transferred, but the Justice Department records reportedly do not. And the reported administrative director of the Alumni Association said to the press, "I have no idea where that information is coming from," referring to the records of payment to the association. Amanda Timpson, the former director of gang prevention and intervention for the Fulton County DA's office, reportedly notified you that an official in your office planned to use the gang funding on computers and other ineligible expenses, such as MacBooks, swag, and travel, instead of helping at-risk youth and the community. So if we think about what Eric is trying to convey here as a legitimate challenger to Fani Willis, you can see this is not about Jim Jordan anymore. We are now at the United States Senate. Our legislative body is comprised of the United States Congress and the United States Senate. When you have senators looking at this, this is beyond Jim Jordan. So when we think about Fani's remarks last night before Election Day, and her challenger is legitimately challenging what she has been spending this money on, there is no oversight. We have also seen here in Georgia, in Fulton County, all of the hearings. You can go and check out my channel. There's a whole playlist on this. We covered all of the hearings where it has been uncovered. Even when Fani goes to get funding for this office, there is little to no oversight. So the fact that this is now coming from the United States Senate is a big deal. It goes on to say, Ms. Timpson brought these concerns to your attention on November 19th of 2021. 2 months later, you terminated her employment. In the fiscal year of 2020, the Fulton County DA's office received $2 million in federal funding through the OJP's Sexual Assault Kit Initiative. According to the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the office that administers these funds were authorized to address the concerns that underline the problem of unsubmitted SA kits and help law enforcement and prosecutors solve more of these heinous crimes. However, data published by Fulton County from 2020 to 2023 show that the Fulton County's DA's office spent approximately 49% of those funding expenditures on travel and conference expenses, such as hotel, airfare, rental cars, and approximately 28% was actually spent on professional services. 49% of that funding that was awarded to actually help victims and make a difference was spent on travel. 28% of it was actually spent on what it was intended to be spent on. This is coming from the Senate. You have a choice today on how you want to vote. In 2023, the Fulton County DA's office spent approximately 98% of its funding on travel and conference expenditures. 98%. 98%. 98%. The apparent and significant discrepancy between the purpose of the federal award of taxpayer money and the actual use of that money raises alarms that it hasn't been used as Congress intended. The waste or misuse of taxpayer funds is unacceptable. Therefore, given these recent reports, we request the following. 1, a list of all federal grants received by the Fulton County District Attorney's Office since 2019. 2, a complete accounting of all expenditures for each federal grant. to A, the request includes, but is not limited to, individualized receipts and invoices for expenditures, summaries of conference and travel expenses, conflicts of interest screenings, performance measures and outcomes, and all records related to the expenditure of these taxpayer funds in compliance with all applicable statutory and regulatory requirements. 3, all records referring to or related to the Fulton County District Attorney's planned expenditures for each federal grant it received, including but not limited to any complaints or communications referring or related to the concerns that an expenditure may not be permitted or was inconsistent with the purpose of federal grant associated with those funds. Please respond to this letter no later than May 29th, 2024. Thank you for your cooperation. This comes from Charles Grassley and Ron Johnson. Now that we know what we're dealing with, it is remarkable to see that Fani Willis went on MSNBC, did not address any of these concerns, attacked Jim Jordan instead of actually addressing the concerns, not of Congress, but of the Senate. Eric was right to say that there has been no oversight on the way that the office is spending the money that is granted to them to actually help the citizens of Fulton County. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section. I don't have words. Let me know what you think below. See you in the next one. Bye.